The lowest is what? 0.
What's good, Mind Speakers? If you click this video, you know what we're getting into. We're talking about the events of last night's 2019 Grammys. So before we even start, let's just talk about how I feel about the Grammys. I do this every year, so let's just keep it short. I honestly don't give a fuck about the Grammys. The Grammys has marketed itself as the biggest event in music for a very long time, but when it comes to hip-hop and the things that I care about, the Grammys really does not have the credentials to tell me what music that's supposed to appeal to me is good. You cannot tell me what music from the Black experience is worthy. When most of the voters have nothing to do with the Black experience, they just bubble in what sounds nice. But if anything, it's an award show, and award shows are just fun to watch. So before we even get into who won and how they won and all that, let's get into the events of the awards. Let's talk about Alicia Keys as a host. Alicia Keys got a lot of shit for being the Grammys host at first, because everybody basically was like, how is Alicia Keys gonna be the host? Alicia Keys has been screaming since 2006 when she took Mashonda's man, God Took Her Voice. Y'all been saying all that shit. And Alicia Keys, honestly, as the Grammys host, did a great job. She kind of sounds like, you know, the librarian that gives you a book that's gonna change your life, or like she's hosting a poetry slam. She has a very soothing voice and genuinely seemed happy to be there and present, and not only happy to be there, but happy for everyone who was performing and who won. And it wasn't about jokes, it wasn't about a comedy shtick that's not gonna work because award show banter is the worst. She was just being Alicia, and I thought it was really fun, so I liked her as the host. For a quick shot of the performers, let's start with her. I started watching the Grammys like an hour late. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, sorry. First performance I saw, I guess, was her, because that's the first one on my list. So, her. You know, I liked her performance. I liked it. It just, to me, wasn't dynamic or memorable enough, and I feel like she really could have delivered something that is just like it just goes that extra mile. I feel like she rests on talent because she's so talented. I mean, why wouldn't you? She's more talented probably than most, or anyone, I can almost say, because I mean, she played the guitar the whole way through. It's great, but that superstar edge, that je ne sais quoi, whatever it is, that thing, I'm just like, come on, come on, come on. But she has a lot of growing to do. She's only 21. I just wanted a little bit more. I just wanted to push through on that because it felt like just a very nice showcase. It just didn't give me superstar performance. And I totally think she's a superstar. I just want her to come through. The next performance I saw was Cardi B. Now, Cardi B, first of all, let's talk about Cardi B's red carpet. Cardi B's red carpet, it triggered a place in me that is deep, because my favorite fashion designer, my #1, is Mugler. I love Mugler. I remember when Beyonce did her I Am Sasha Fierce, I think that was, in Mugler. Oh, I love Mugler because Mugler is always just impeccably tailored. It's all about nipped waists and hips and shape. It's very like fembot. It just gives you va-va-voom and woman. I love Mugler. So her wearing vintage Mugler, first of all, we're talking about Cardi B here. We're talking about Cardi B walking out in vintage 1995 Mugler. So now you have to understand that this storyline of Cardi B being the Dominican Mia Thermopolis is in full effect. This shit is crazy. The only thing that I can say that I have an issue with is that she's so short that it's supposed to be like a flower, right? So she's supposed to be giving me stem into the flower, but she's so short, it was like, you know what I mean? She's just a little too short for it, but I love the drama. I think it's perfect for the Grammys. She started it off perfect. So then let's get to the performance. Like I said before about Cardi, where she may take a shortcut, like the lip syncing, because most of it was lip sync and it wasn't really that crazy choreographed, but where she may take that shortcut, everything else is so good, you almost don't care. Her team's almost making me feel like this Vegas residency is proper because like the big ostrich feather plumes, it's all so big and showgirl, and it's taking strip club elements and turning it into high-class showgirl Vegasism, and I love it. I thought her performance was perfect. It was impeccable, and the Mugler jumpsuit was perfect, and the peacock thing, it was just all perfect. And I think we really need to give it up to Colin Carter for getting that Mugler shit. And I think Tanisha Scott, who is a legend, is her creative director. she's also doing that. It's perfect, it's beautiful, nothing to say. Great job, Cardi. Alicia Keys performed a nice medley of hits. I thought it was very nice to see Alicia Keys do her thing and show the kids that she doesn't just scream. She's actually very talented. She played 2 pianos at once. It was great, and everything was within her range, so she sounded beautiful, and I think that's what a lot of people have to understand. If you're not a rangy singer, the only time people say you can't sing is when you're out of your range. I mean, not everybody is Steph Curry with the shots. Some of us are Shaqs, so I mean, stay in the paint, Alicia. We're fine. Drake won a Grammy for God's Plan. Not sure which one it is, but I'll read it later. And he pretty much got on stage and shat all over the Grammys. Now, this is the content I came here for, because I thought that the bigger artists like Drake not coming to the Grammys was setting a precedent. So when I first saw Drake, I was upset, because I was like, of course your bitch ass gonna be the one to fold, and you're gonna be the A-lister to be in the audience. Of course you're gonna be that girl. Of course, of fucking course. But then he got the mic, and he said, you know, I'm very thankful for this Grammy, thank you so much, but the voters for this category may not exactly understand where a mixed kid's from Toronto, where his soul is coming from. So his soul-bearing music won't be appreciated. And if you're an artist and you're upset about not having one of these, if you have people loving your music, it doesn't really matter whether you have one or not. That's really what you do this for. You don't do it for this shit. This shit really doesn't mean anything. And they pulled the plug on his ass, which I think was the perfect thing to do. To win a Grammy and to fucking take a stand against the Grammys, it really shows that the Grammy doesn't mean much to you, and it doesn't mean much to Drake, because to be honest, they might blackball him for that. He might not get love for that. He might be snubbed in the future for that. So to see Drake take that stance, it was great. It was honestly, it was great, and I applaud Drake for doing that. And I can also say a lot of Drake's more soul-bearing music, there was a lot of it on Scorpion, you know. Scorpion was very emotionally intensive for him. But he's put out a lot of soul-bearing music from the Grammys that has been snubbed, his earlier work. And I remember on Paris Morton Music, he said, I never threw away that paper with my Grammy speech because I haven't hit the pinnacles I plan to reach. So the Grammys really did mean a lot to Drake at one point in time, but after he won it, I think, you know, he started to understand that it really didn't change much, you know? He was still Drake before and after. So I'm glad that he said that, and I hope a lot of artists can take heed. Lady Gaga performed some boring-ass pop ballad. I guess it was from that movie A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper that I didn't watch. Lady Gaga, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. We want Lady Gaga back. I don't know what this is. I don't understand what this U2, David Bowie shit is. It's not entertaining, it's not fun. I want pop music back, Gaga. I don't know what to tell you. This, I'm not into. If this is the new Gaga, then I'm not a Gaga fan anymore. Because the Gaga I was a fan of was all about fun and electro dance pop, and even if you don't go full electro dance pop, this just isn't Gaga to me. It's just weird. I don't like it at all. Don't like the direction, and it's just a complete departure from the person and the artist that I thought I knew. But if you're naturally and honestly making that departure, girl, then go ahead and make it. I'm just not with you. Next is Travis Scott, and I gotta say honestly, Travis Scott as a live performer really doesn't get me. I don't get why y'all stand Travis as a performer if you're not there. Now, if I was there with my friends and I wanted to just like rage, then sure, but I'm also not a rager, and I also don't like people touching me, so I wouldn't want to be at a Travis show because somebody's little Spencer's getting punched if I get hit in the back too hard. Honestly, vocally, he's just doing his normal T-Boz, R2-D2, Karen the Computer Wife vocals. And then it turns into this whole cage show, and people are climbing the stage. I mean, that to me is fun because Travis Scott performances always resemble like what you think a high school party is gonna be like when you're 11. Like, it was missing the red Solo cups. So that, to me, it sells that fantasy, which is why I get why people like it, because it's like this grand illusion of youth and carefree energy. That is awesome. So it's very rock star and it's very punk rock. I'm just not that punk rock, and I don't like being touched in mosh pits. So I honestly, at the end of it, I was like, you know what, that's fun. But at first I was a little skeptical, so good job, Travis. Overall, I liked it. There was apparently a Motown tribute. I didn't see it. I didn't see a tribute to Motown. What I saw was Jennifer Lopez singing a bunch of historically black songs. I don't really know how that contributes to Motown, but it wasn't the Motown I knew. Here's the thing, J-Lo was put behind the 8 ball in general for 2 reasons. 1, she's not black, and 2, she can't sing. So if we're talking Motown, we're talking about people who could actually goddamn sing. Why would you hire a dancer? And I'm gonna say this politely and as politely as I can. This whole thing of exchanging black women for non-black POCs, I see it and you're not low. because it's not cute, it's not fun. J-Lo may be Puerto Rican, but she's not black. Cardi may be Dominican, but she's not black. She's not, like, I don't care what you say. Latina is not ingested the same way blackness is ingested to the masses. And that is what the separation is. It's not about ethnicity, it's about the way it is accepted, and that's the truth. I would have loved to see Beyonce do that Motown tribute because Beyonce can sing and she can dance. So I don't know whether she was busy or whether she said fuck y'all, but I wish she would have done it. But let's talk about J-Lo's performance. J-Lo danced her ass off. She did a great job. She puts on an amazing stage show. I mean, J-Lo is fantastic. But the lip syncing for a Motown tribute, I just don't get. And I also heard J-Lo sing a song that sounded familiar. I think it was called Circle Biz or Triangle Biz or Parallelogram Biz. I know it wasn't Square Biz by the Tina Marie. It couldn't have been Square Biz. It sounded like some other biz, some other shape of a biz, but it wasn't square. After a while, just tuned it out because I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And then I went on my timeline and started making Twitter jokes because I just didn't want to see J-Lo do that. So even if she did a bang up job, we didn't want to see her do it because when you miss a chance, especially for a black thing, to have a black woman do it, it reads disrespectful. Especially for what Motown meant as a whole. And Motown, it was started during the 60s and it was a black label because black artists didn't get signed or get love from multiple other white publications. It just meant so much for you to tribute Motown using a non-black POC. It's disrespectful, and it was disrespectful to a lot of other black people, and so we just didn't want to receive it. So the Grammys kind of set J-Lo up for a dragging, but J-Lo, you also offered to do it, so next time, just wait for Celia Cruz. But Ne-Yo was also there, and Ne-Yo was perfect for a Motown tribute. I mean, Ne-Yo is honestly a king. Like, we don't talk about Ne-Yo enough, but Ne-Yo is perfect for a Motown tribute. I love Ne-Yo. So Ne-Yo sounded absolutely impeccable. Chloe and Halle also performed a Donny Hathaway tribute while his daughter was in the crowd. I thought it was a little disrespectful. I thought that Layla would probably love to sing a Donny Hathaway tribute. But of course, they sound beautiful, and their harmonies, the more they grow, they're growing into such beautiful young women and developing identity and what they want to do. And as they grow, they're going to just become so much more talented and seasoned. And I just, you know, they're our babies. We love watching them grow, and we love seeing their potential at such a young age, and who knows where they'll be in 3 years. So congratulations, Chloe and Halle, for being superstars as usual. And next was the Aretha tribute, which I just thought was boring. I'm sorry, everybody doesn't have to perform Natural Woman, or if you want to tribute Aretha, I mean, you can give me respect. You can give me, you know, something. Aretha was capable of a high energy performance. Aretha could get you on your feet. She could entertain a crowd. Aretha moved crowds and crowds and crowds of people. Aretha was dynamic. They gave those girls no production value. It was just Andra Day, Yolanda Adams, and Fantasia sitting on the end of a stage and singing. And granted, they all sound great. Of course, they're gonna sound great. I just wish there was more production value and something that was more true to Aretha in her prime, in her youth. I thought that was a little disrespectful with the production value they gave everybody else. To just put them on the end of a stage with pictures of Aretha in the background was kind of cheap. So Aretha deserves better still. That's all I cared about from the show. It was entertaining to watch with Twitter. Twitter really brings these boring award shows around for me. Even the ones I don't want to watch, and I didn't really want to watch the Grammys, but I knew I had to do this video. But watching it with Twitter made it way more bearable. So let's talk about the awards that I care about. Producer of the Year Non-Classical. The nominees were Boy Wonder, Larry Klein, Linda Perry, Kanye West, and Pharrell won. Sure, I don't really have a dog in that fight. I don't really care either which way. But Pharrell did a lot of Sweetener, and he also did a lot of Everything Is Love, so he deserves. Best Rap Song. The nominees were God's Plan by Drake, King's Dead, Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock featuring James Blake, Lucky You, Eminem featuring Joyner Lucas, Sicko Mode, Drake, Travis Scott, and Win by J-Rock, and of course Drake won and then gave his speech for God's Plan. I think that God's Plan did deserve Best Rap Song. I don't necessarily know if I see God's Plan as rap or if I see it as commercial, but honestly, most of these awards that were given to the most commercial project of all. So I think that God's Plan is one of the more commercial Drake records that he released. Best Rap Song Performance, Like I Do, Christina Aguilera featuring Goldlink, Pretty Little Fears, Black featuring J. Cole, This Is America, Childish Gambino, All the Stars, Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Rockstar by Post Malone and 21 Savage. And it went to This Is America by Childish Gambino. No, I don't see that as rap song. Why? Because he said, that's not enough to be rap song, sorry. I believe that honestly should have gone to, I would pick All the Stars. I honestly think that All the Stars was a fantastic song, but if Rockstar won, I wouldn't be mad because Rockstar was a smash. And of course, we know that Pretty Little Fears is one of my personal favorites. I just don't know if it was a big enough song to constitute the winning of a Grammy. But then again, what does a Grammy make? Does it make quality? Does it make that these people have music taste and their taste is what contributes to winning the Grammy? Or is it made the biggest song win? Because it's starting to look like made the biggest song win. Best rap performance. Be Careful by Cardi B, Nice for What by Drake, King's Dead, Kendrick Lamar and All Them Niggas, J-Rock, J-Rock song, and Sicko Mode. Oh, sorry, and Bubblin' by Anderson .Paak was also nominated, and it was a tie for King's Dead and Bubblin'. No. And I loved Oxnard, but Bubblin' wasn't it. Bubblin's not the song to me that deserves a Grammy. But, of course, you know, the Grammys, they go, ooh, I can't, you know, decide between which of the blacks I'm gonna choose. Both of them sound great, pick them both. It's like, okay. Best R&B album, Sex and Cigarettes, Toni Braxton, Good Thing, Leon Bridges, Honestly, Layla Hathaway, Her by Her, Gumbo Unplugged Live by PJ Morton, and Her won. Now, when Her won, she was extra shocked, and of course she should be extra shocked, but here's the reason why she shouldn't be extra shocked. The Grammys has been promoting with you for months now, so you knew that it was gonna be you. You're the only one on this list who has been constantly in the Grammy promos, who was asked to perform. Girl, you knew it was gonna be you. Like, they weren't, like, come on. But then again, I also can see you doing business with the Grammys and watching what just happened to SZA being like, they might do all that with me and fuck me. I mean, they promoted with Nicki all of 2012 and still didn't give her the Best New Artist Grammy, so you never know. But I'm very happy, and she said it wasn't even an album, it was an EP. Girl, if it goes on streaming, it's an album. Cut it out. And there was Volume 1 and 2. Best Urban Contemporary Album. Everything Is Love by the Carters, The Kids Are Alright by Chloe and Halle, Chris Dave and Drumheads, Chris Dave and the Drumheads? I don't know what the fuck that is. War and Leisure by Miguel, I didn't know it was even nominated. Wow. Or Ventriloquism by Michelle. Sorry girl, I don't know how to say your name. But Everything in Love by the Carters won. I just really loved War and Leisure, so it kind of hurts me to see it kind of be thrown in there as like being counted but not even put in a televised category. But they didn't televise it because Beyonce and Jay-Z didn't show up to receive their award, but they won a Grammy for Best Urban Contemporary. Best R&B Performance, Long As I Live by Toni Braxton, Summer, The Carters, Y.O.Y, Layla Hathaway, Best Part by Her featuring Daniel Caesar, and First Began by PJ Morton, and Best Part 1, totally agree. Totally agree. It's a beautiful song. It is absolutely fantastic. Would never take that away from her. Best Part deserves it all, and congratulations to Daniel Caesar as well. Best Pop Vocal Album, Camilla by Camila Cabello, The Meaning of Life, Kelly Clarkson, Sweetener by Ariana Grande, Shawn Mendes by Shawn Mendes, Beautiful Trauma by Pink, and Reputation by Taylor Swift, and Sweetener won. Realistically, I don't know much about this category because I haven't listened to most of these albums that are here. I know the Camila Cabello stans are upset and the Swifties are upset, but this says Best Pop Vocal Album. And you tell me if your girl is fucking with Ariana Grande, because let the church say what? No. Best Pop Solo Performance, Colors by Beck, Havana Live by Camila Cabello, girl you should have known you lost, God Is a Woman by Ariana Grande, Joanne, Where Do You Think You're Going by Lady Gaga, or Better Now by Post Malone. So Post Malone has the ability to win both the white categories and y'all throw him in the black categories to give him preference. Stop doing that. Is he pop or is he not? Because I don't see God's plan here, so Better Now don't need to be here either. Cut it the fuck out. And Joanne, Where Do You Think You're Going by Lady Gaga won. Now, that song is so beautiful. I just have an issue with the timeline here because as far as I'm concerned, Joanne is an old ass song, it's an old ass album. Was that not 2017? 2019. I'm just not seeing how that transfers. If that was the case, I probably would have picked God As a Woman. I'm not the biggest fan of the trappiness of that song, but she performed the fuck out of it on the VMAs, and that kind of turned me over from when I originally heard it, so. Best New Artist, Chloe and Halle, Luke Combs, Greta Van Fleet, Her, Dua Lipa, Margot Pierce, Bebe Rexha, and Georgia Smith. And it went to Dua Lipa. How do I say this without being disrespectful? Because One Kiss is one of my favorite songs of the year. I love the beat, but that's Calvin Harris's doing. But I like it. But the reality of the situation is Dua Lipa has the stage presence of a #2 pencil. So how she got Best New Artist, as in best, over Chloe and Halle and Her, I just don't get it. And I also don't understand how Bebe Rexha was even in here, but it just sounds like they just wanted to fill up this category to make it look a little bit more full when Dua Lipa won. Dua Lipa is a world artist, and they decided to give it to her because she's a world artist. She makes music that transcends out of America. I totally get it. She puts up numbers, but she's not the Best New Artist here. Did you think that performance she put on was better than hers or Chloe and Halle's? because I didn't either. Song of the Year, All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Boot Up by LMA. God's Plan by Drake. In My Blood by Shawn Mendes. The Joke by Brandi Carlile. The Middle, Zed, Maren Morris, Grey Shallow, Lady Gaga, and Brandon, whatever. This Is America by Childish Gambino, and This Is America 1. This Is America to me was more of a visual project. The video was a spectacle for me. I don't like the song like that. I'm sorry, I don't. I love Childish Gambino. That just was not my favorite thing, but it's starting to give me that he's becoming like the Kendrick when they go, wow, this just has like a message. Like, or it's like that white guilt thing when they're like, you're right, white people just are like so horrible. I know, right? Like whiteness is just like so toxic. It's like, to me that's a spineless decision. I definitely think that any other one of these songs probably could have won and I would have been okay with it. That's a lie. I probably would have picked All the Stars, Boot Up, or God's Plan for me, because the reality of the situation is they're better. They're better songs. But I also don't feel like This Is America is the best song he put out this year. I feel like Feels Like Summer was so much better and deserves so much more. Like, This Is America is just not his best song of the year. And then Record of the Year, I Like It, Cardi B, Bad Bunny, J Balvin, The Joke, Brandi Carlile, This Is America, Childish Gambino, God's Plan, Shallow, Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, All the Stars, Rockstar, The Middle. And This Is America won again. Okay. Album of the Year. Invasion of Privacy, Cardi B. By the Way I Forgive You, Brandi Carlile. Scorpion by Drake. Her by Her. Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone. Dirty Computer by Janelle Monae. Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves and Black Panther the album, and Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves won. Now, I'm not a fan of Casey Musgraves' music, but from what I've heard, she's been the doll of country. A lot of people who don't even like country like that Casey Musgraves album, and I respect it. If that's how they feel, I respect it. For me personally though, name a black person who won a non-black specific award. If it goes too far, if it's outside of the categories that are for you, like best R&B, best rap, best this, to win album of the year, you ain't getting it. To win best new artist, you ain't getting it. And that's honestly the issue that I have. Not that Casey Musgraves won, because if her album was great, which I've heard a lot of great things about it, then it's good. It just seems, there seems to be a glass ceiling at the Grammys over what artists of color are able to achieve. And that, I don't like. And I know you're gonna say, well, what about Record of the Year or Childish Gambino? It's Childish Gambino. It ain't Nipsey fucking Hussle. And this is the controversial one. It's the best rap album. The nominees were Astroworld by Travis Scott, Daytona by Pusha T, Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle, Swimming by Mac Miller, and Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B. And Cardi B won. And a lot of people have a lot of feelings. These feelings should not include any feeling about Nicki Minaj, because the words Nicki Minaj have never been mentioned anywhere here, because Nicki not only didn't go, but she also wasn't nominated. So it should have nothing to do with her, but of course it does, because everybody knows Nicki doesn't have a Grammy and Cardi just won a Grammy. So the first thing I would like to say to Cardi is congratulations, because you cannot not be happy for Cardi. We saw her in the strip club, we saw the first 2 mixtapes, we saw Love and Hip Hop, and we saw Bodak Yellow, and we saw Culture, and now we see this. It's like, it's insane. And people are happy to see that come up, because a lot of people from their hoods can see Cardi and they can go, if she can do it, I can do it. That's what it's all about. Best rap album to someone who doesn't write rap will never in my life, ever, when I say never in my life, I mean till from June 20th, 1993 to the end of my days, whenever those are, it will never make sense. But I also understand that the Grammys doesn't care about that, because the Grammys doesn't value rap. But Invasion of Privacy overall was a fun album. I don't think she should have won this one. If she was gonna win one, I would have preferred it to be Record of the Year. I Like It, but I Like It is a world smash record. It's stadium music. You can't go anywhere without hearing it. And it samples an already classic record, and it makes more sense for that to be the Record of the Year than to award this whole album over other rap projects. But everybody is now like, ha, Cardi won a Grammy, Nicki so pressed, And I'm like, okay, y'all are so quick to start talking shit about Nicki that you're not even congratulating Cardi, which is very disrespectful to her, A. And B, Nipsey was pissed, Pusha was pissed, A$AP Rocky just tweeted that he's pissed, you know, by not having a Grammy. Tons of men are so upset about not having Grammys. Travis Scott looked like he's about to crawl into Stormi's crib and cry in auto-tune like, "Oh, Travis, don't cry, you'll short circuit." So much is going on. So many of these men feel devalued and upset with the fact that they put out better bodies of work and they didn't get Grammys, and y'all are focused on what Nicki thinks about it. And Nicki's not the only person who's been snubbed from the Grammys. She's not the only person, and it is what it is, because the Grammys don't tell me what I like and they don't tell me what's good and what's not. If I like a Cardi song, what I like about it, I will like. What I liked from Invasion of Privacy, I took, and what I didn't like, I left. And it doesn't mean anything to me whether it wins a Grammy or not. I still love Get Up 10. I listen to it in the gym every day. It is a bop, it is an inspirational anthem. I love that, but I do not believe she wrote it. And that is how I feel, and that is supported by multiple evidence. And I still have elements from Queen that I liked, and what I didn't, I did not. I will still listen to Hard White. I will still bump Coco Chanel. But come see About Me, I ain't listening to that shit. That's just how I feel. And so what? And I think everyone is too caught up on what the Grammys thinks, and it's exactly what Drake said to you, and it's also what Ariana Grande said to you in that interview she did with why she decided not to go to the Grammys is because they wouldn't let her perform 7 Rings, which I'm like, Cardi performed Money and Travis performed whatever the fuck he performed. Why can't she perform 7 Rings? Did you hit your nigger quota? It's like, the Grammys to me is corny, and so it's not to me about who wins a Grammy or what it means, because realistically, it doesn't mean much to me. It's about us as black people devaluing that meaning. But by doing what y'all did last night, you give it power again. And you deconstruct every risk that people like Jay, who said, tell the Grammys, fuck that 0 for 8 shit on ape shit. You undo all that work that these people are doing. And Drake pretty much put the rest of his career with the Grammys on the line. Y'all basically re-energized it by doing what you did last night. So be better. As far as Nicki, girl, who gives a fuck, girl? You're still the highest selling female rapper of all time. You just hit 100 million units. And like I said before, no one's gonna congratulate you, but everyone's gonna congratulate Cardi, and who cares? Because bottom line is your work will speak for itself when it's said and done. And I think a lot of people have this notion that Nicki Minaj thinks more of her career than she deserves. And I think she accurately assesses her career. When she did that, I think it was for, I wanna say it was for Vibe, or Double XL, it was Double XL. They asked her, what do you think your legacy will be? And all she said was, I think my legacy will be reintroducing the female rapper into the mainstream fold. That will be what my job was. And Nicki, you're right, and that job is done. If you don't do another motherfucking thing, that's yours. Because if there's no you, there's no that. And also fuck the Grammys, I just don't care. Like, I am black, I am very blickety goddamn black. Ain't no white people who go, daughter, what is that song that you sang? God's Plan? Lovely hippity hop record. God's Plan. Y'all can't tell me what hip hop means to me. If y'all don't blow the whole goddamn grip, for real, I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. But y'all have to not care in order for the Grammys to suffer. And clearly you're not there yet. So we'll run it again next year. Anyway, that's how I felt about the Grammys. Let me know how you felt about the Grammys below. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If not, suck a dick, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Deuce. I don't have an ear raised at this because Blueface would want Cardi on the record, because Cardi sells a lot of records. So duh, when you put Cardi on something, that's why it's gonna chart. And I feel the same way about Mariah, is she feels like, let's just throw Cardi on this record for a no-no and let's just try it again, you bunch of bastards.